Good evening, everybody. Oops, I gotta put in my other mic here. This one's good. It's an external mic. I just clip in with a USB. And what it helps is it doesn't pick up, like my internal computer microphone will pick up the computer whirring sounds and stuff like that, which this should help. Mary, hello. How are you? So we've got Christina, hello. You were early, not only in time. Alicia, hi, and Matt and Sarah. Oh, you guys, Julie, hello. That's Mary. So, okay, Lynn, good evening. Kristen, hello. Oh, you guys, you're awesome. Just being here right away. Thank you so much. This is very fun. Very, very fun. How is everybody tonight? Mary, have you been surviving the last little cold blast? Although this time it wasn't nearly as bad as a week ago. Not nearly as bad, or 2 weeks ago. It was, yeah. Hey, Megan, hello. Today was a mix of rain and hail. Ooh, back down to wind chills for the rest of the week. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you've been surviving well. Yes, Matt and Sarah, I did. Oh my gosh. It's like we are in the 40s. Maybe you guys are even warmer. I don't know, but we're in the 40s, anywhere from low 40s to upper 40s, and sunny for the next 10 days, or 9 days anyway. But yeah, like today is the last kind of chilly day. We were in the mid-teens, I think, low to mid-teens today. So, yeah, and then it's like melt city. I mean, there are going to be some days not even below freezing at night. So, which is, it's kind of early. It's an early spring. It definitely is. So, hey, Caitlin, hello. Oh, Tim, you're getting your blast tomorrow? Okay. Look at that. I got the whole family in here. That's great. Thank you, guys. It's 21 there? Okay. Oh, I have it on my phone here. Being really muddy, but not flooded. Oh, I know. I was watching Freedom Homestead, who comes on an hour after I'm done. And they got, what, over 5.5 inches of rain overnight. And luckily, oh, by the grace of God, they had been able to put in a sump pump last summer, I think it was. And if they hadn't had that, they would have had their basement flooded again. So, all right, Alicia, that's so good. Now it's supposed to get above freezing tomorrow. Okay. Lynn, getting a winter storm. Yeah, I saw that up in the Northeast, definitely. So, hey, Debbie Carmi. Excuse me. 59 degrees in Western Washington. Patty, hello. Hope you're doing well. Can you believe all that water in the? I know. That was just, yeah. They just put up a video today of everything. So, you know, there are so many rivers around there too, and I don't know that anybody's really. Well, I haven't seen any videos yet about the level of water in the rivers around that area. So I don't know. I don't know if it was last spring or the spring before. It was really high. Hey, Kiri, hello. Thanks for coming in. How are things in Texas? Patty, you enjoying your lovely weather here? Yes. It was sunny all day today. Oh, it was beautiful. And even though it was only about like 12 degrees today when I went out, it was like there was very little wind, if any, and sunny, and it felt like 35, 40 degrees. So it was beautiful. Beautiful. So, oh, Kiri, I'm so glad that you have running water finally. That's been like, what, 2 weeks almost? Hey, Rebecca, hello. Thank you for coming. Yeah, you guys, I know in the South you don't have the infrastructure that we do up here to take that kind of snow and temperatures and everything, and it really just shuts down everything for a long time. And you know, you can still, yeah, broken pipes and everything. You can still wrap pipes down there. Just put, you know, get like the pool noodles, the styrofoam pool noodles. They're hollow inside, and just cut those and wrap them around your pipes. And it doesn't matter if you know, only get down to 40 degrees during the winter or something. If something like this happens again, you're set. You know you've got it done. Not only that, it keeps them from sweating in the hot weather if you've got cold water running through there and everything. So still, I mean, that's just one little tip of being able to maybe get under the crawl space, get around under your house or exterior pipes or something, and just wrap them. You know, put that in your to-dos for this summer or something. So, hey Donna, hello. 3.5 weeks, no running water. Whoa. Yes, those noodles are very versatile. They're really great. Um, oh, you guys, wow. Exactly, Megan. If it doesn't get cold, it's like no big deal. I mean, you still have them wrapped, and you know, just in case. So, hey Eli, good evening. Welcome. Wrapped pipes busted. Your house inside dropped in the 20s. Okay. Oh, because you didn't have electricity to keep everything warm. Yeah, I hear that. Ooh, you got one nice one. What did you have them wrapped with? I guess, well, you know, if you don't have electricity, the best thing to do is just to turn off your water source so that you don't have water in the pipes at all to be able to break. That's the thing, you know. So, and if you need water, just go outside, run it, fill couple of 5-gallon buckets or something, bring it in, and then shut the water off at the main again and just drain it. You know, so those are just a couple things that could be done in case, because when water is left inside the lines, same with hoses or whatever, but they're a little bit more flexible because they're rubber, but yeah, metal pipes, they don't expand. They'll just split. So just maybe some things to think about for this next year. I don't know. The flood to town was really bad here. Over 2,000 power poles broken in your county alone. Wow. I was watching The Smiths with Granger Smith, and he was showing, I mean, they've got gorgeous property in Texas, and they have these 500-year-old live oak trees, and they were just coated with ice, and the weight of that was just snapping branches here, right and left, and breaking trees. And while they were videoing for us, it was just trees falling all over the place, and it was like, oh my goodness, it was kind of dangerous actually for them. But they did have a generator that they could run so that their well pump wouldn't freeze. So, hey, Grammy Karen, hi, how are you doing? Sorry I missed you there. Oh, Donna, that sounds great. That sounds really good. Oh, oh no. Oh, Kristen, I'm so sorry. The well pipe. Oh, that's so good. It's the well pipe. Yeah, that's so you guys. Yeah, oh, I'm so sorry, Kiri. That's a lot. Um, You've been replacing old poles for you, Megan. Okay. Yeah, we just got I just on the corner of my property there near the phone building. They just replaced one power line pole and then put in a second one too. So they did this last week, and shut my power off for a little bit. But I mean, that's to be expected. So, oh, you guys, so glad that y'all are here. This is wonderful. So, yes, we had cold snap and some snow, probably a total of 5 inches, maybe over a couple different nights. And now it's sunny and it's starting to warm up. So great. So great. All right, before I get into the yarrow, I do have to show you my lettuce. Now, disclaimer, I let it run out of water. And of course it went dry and got all emotional, wilty and everything else. And so I watered it. Most of it's come back. It's just, this is a great lesson for me for winter growing inside, because I'm just not doing it. But look at this lettuce. It's ready to harvest. I got a salad coming here. So anyway, it's doing really, really good once I fed it. And if I keep it watered, it does well too. Don't ask me which one is which. I mean, I can tell the difference between the romaine and the lettuce, obviously. But anyway, nice and lush and green. So growing veggies inside in Minnesota. My experiment is working. Oh, Curie, almost everyone has broken pipes. This was a record freeze, yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard. It was freezing rain and then snow and then another freezing rain on top of it. And it's like, oh, that is so hard. Julie, when the electrical gets shut off here every year in California, put toads in the bathtub, Phillips. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I know, Matt, you like that? If I keep it watered? Mm-hmm. I know I came to check in on it this morning and I was like, oh no, it's all laying down. But it jumped back up pretty good, so. The town water tank ran dry. Oh my goodness. That's some really serious stuff. Before I get into the yarrow, you guys knew, like last year we were all talking about a book called The 1 Second After, or 1 Second After by William Forstchen, S-T-C-H, Forstchen. Anyway, that was all about people trying to survive after an EMP blast and everything, that all the grids were taken down and all that. So we talked about it a little bit last week, and I mentioned that I was reading the rest of the series, and I actually finished them. So one is 1 year after, and then the final day. And I don't know which is your side, which is first, but this is the second one, and then this is the third one. And I love to say the first one has the worst language in it. These two it got much better. But hey, Dave, how are you doing? Yes, but I would highly recommend these because it lets you know what things are important to have in a situation, almost like what you guys went through in Texas, and it's like, but this is where everything is down for good almost, and their work over 2 years of trying to, recreate electricity, get, different things back, and how they survived after all that. And it's, there were some people that at that point were known as preppers and stuff like that, but they had, were well set for like 2 or 3 years of being able to feed their whole family and everything, and not be dependent on the community's food of trying to survive and everything. So, it's a good thing to show exactly what it is that is very helpful in those kind of situations, because a lot of people like, oh, what do I stock up on? I'm going to, get a lot of ramen noodles, and I'm going to get a lot of, cans of soup and different things like that. But, I mean, that's really short-term stuff, very short-term, but it gives you an idea of what might be needed on a longer-term basis and that kind of thing. So, so anyway, if you can, even if some people are close together or something, and, mail these out to one another and then read them and then pass them on to somebody else. I am waiting for a friend to get back to me on these, so she wants to read them. So if not, I was just going to drop them off at Goodwill. But if, and I'll let you guys know maybe book swap. Exactly. Some of these that I probably am not going to read again because it's very well ingrained in my mind at this point. And so it's, being able to share this kind of information. I mean, it doesn't cost much to mail a couple paperbacks at book rate, and that type of thing. Or you guys can get them on Kindle or something. But yes, near fresh water source, very, very important. If you're able to do that, that's really helpful. So anyway, that's what I've been reading. So on to Yarrow. So I don't know if you say Yarrow or Yarrow. I'll probably be flipping back and forth between the two. So Yarrow its Latin name is Achillia Milifolium. So really the Achillia is the genus name, comes from Achilles, from the Greek mythological warrior. And so, we hear about Achilles' heel, that kind of stuff like that. So, that's awesome, Dave. Thanks. And anybody else who knows it, please feel free to chime in. I have seeds that I am going to start growing it this year. So it was a good research for me, because I knew I needed to have it, but it's like, okay, the more I studied about it, it was like, yeah, I'm glad I got the seeds. There aren't that many in here. Maybe 5 seeds. I mean, it's just very few in there. So anyway, Achillia Milifolium. So the milifolium, the English term is milfoil. Now it's very, very different than the milfoil that we have in lakes that is really, really damaging. Milfoil in the lakes is like kind of feathery and really slimy and sticks to everything, and it creates a disease in the lakes, and it kills off. It reproduces so quickly and creates this smothering mass, and so it ends up killing off, any good algae in the lakes. It kills off. It sucks all the oxygen, everything out of there, so it starts killing fish and all kinds of stuff. So milfoil is really bad. And in Minnesota, we have 10 to 12,000 lakes, and that's a huge thing. That whenever you've got your boat in a lake, when you bring it out, rinse it off. We don't want to be transferring milfoil from one lake into a clean lake. So they're very, very, very strict about that. And there's still people that don't pay attention to it, but all of a sudden you've got another lake that's been cleaned out really, really well and is prolific with fish and all kinds of things. And all of a sudden, it's got a milfoil problem because somebody just didn't want to rinse off their boat. So anyway, you've tried growing it. Okay. No, that milfoil, this is a different one. This is, it's above ground milfoil. The other one is in the water, and this one has flowering stuff all over it. Let me see. Can you see here? I've got something in the way here. So it's a picture of it. So it grows, you know, almost 3 feet high, 2 to 3 feet high, and it's got all kinds of different color flowers and different things like that. So yes, we have the zebra mussels too. It's oh, Eli, that's interesting. Okay, because it says it's a perennial, and I thought it was going to be okay in my zone here. I'll have to see. I might have to grow it as an annual because it doesn't say what zones or anything. That is interesting. Do you think it will? No, it is a perennial, but yeah, it might be something I'll have to just reseed every year. I don't know. I am in a 3 to 4. my south bed right up next to my house is a 4 because it's protected, but my main garden is a 3. So it is hardy zone 3 tonight. Awesome. Okay, so it should last well. All right, so it is a member of the aster family, and it does have some feathery leaves, but the flowers that bloom in densely arranged clusters. And it spreads by rhizomes. So Dave, you were asking that last week about the marshmallow root, but this one definitely is rhizomes, and it creates patches in the gardens or fields, and it smells fabulous, they say. It's easy to grow from the seed. It thrives in full sun and well-drained soil, but it will tolerate a variety of soil conditions. And I forgot to put all of my links in the thing below. So I will add those afterwards. You guys can come back and get all the links. But yes, Dave, it's so you can direct sow in early spring, or you can transplant from starts or cuttings after the danger of frost has passed. Some of the colors include pale pink, purple, red, white, yellow. I thought I saw an orange one too. But anyway, you use the flowering portion of the plant, which is typically what's used for medicinal purposes. And you just kind of cut off, when you're harvesting, you cut off the top third of the plant, and then you can either use it right away fresh in teas, or dry it, dehydrate it, hang it, whatever, and then use it to make and grind it up so you can use it for making infused oils or tinctures or extracts, that kind of thing. So the oils, you can make it into a salve, which is like the biggest thing here. Deer resistant? Oh, I didn't come across that, Patty. Thanks so much. I have not yet grown pumpkin, and I don't plan to this year. I will be growing a lot more squash, though. Hummingbirds love the dried heads. Awesome. Okay. So it is native to temperate regions of the Northern Hemisphere in North America, Europe, and Asia. So again, not the same as the Lake Eurasian milfoil, but it's also known as Achillia, bloodwort, carpenter's weed, devil's nettle, nosebleed, old man's pepper, staunchweed, thousand leaf, and wound wort. So anyway, those are some of the other names. So there are about 140 different species of this, and but anyway, let me continue on here. Yeah, so when you dry them, then you want to strip the leaves and the flowers off the stems and use that part, but not the stems themselves. Both the dried leaves and the flowers can be consumed internally as tea. not very much of it because it is pretty potent. So if you want to make an infused oil, again, grind up some dried leaves, put them in a glass jar. The ratio is 1 to 4, so it's 1 part dried leaves and then 4 parts oil. And you can use olive oil, almond oil, jojoba oil, any of those kind of things. So any kind of a high quality neutral carrier oil that you want. Put it in the dark place for a few weeks, shaking as often as you can. You could also put it in the sun for a few days and then put it to a dark place for the rest of the time if you want to get it going a little faster. But it takes about 4 to 6 weeks. You strain the oil, use it as is, or try melting it in with some beeswax and other essential oils to make an herbal salve. So anyway, then you can do a tincture, which is kind of the same thing, ground up, put in a jar with 80 proof or higher alcohol. Infuse it for 6 to 8 weeks. The tincture, so this would be the tincture with the alcohol, it can be used as a mosquito repellent. So you can put it like in a little spray bottle and just, with the thing, and mosquito repellent. I think that would be awesome. But do apply it on your skin first in a little spot to see if you're allergic to it, because it's in the same family as ragweed and some of those others that people can be highly allergic to. Let me see. It's used for fever, for common colds, hay fever, women's monthly cycles, dysentery, diarrhea, loss of appetite, any GI tract discomfort, and it helps to induce sweating. If you chew the fresh leaves, it can help relieve toothache. It can, the most widely used part, or widely used use of yarrow is actually for wounds. It's a great wound healer, and so if you make a salve with it, you can even have, just like they said, the infused oil, and just take the oil and rub that on your wounds too. But yes, in combination with other herbs, it can help with bloating, other GI complaints. Let's see, helps with inflammation, also helps with anxiety. Let me see. In 2017, studies reported their effectiveness for immune system support. Kristen, I think it depends on if you are, Eli, it's probably you just don't have mosquitoes there. It's too dry, I would imagine, right? If you're on any medication for that, because you need to check again with your doctor to see if it's going to, interfere with whatever meds that you're taking. It can help, they said it's effective in regulating blood sugar and diabetes, can help protect the liver and gallbladder, helps with sleep, helps treat hemorrhoids, alleviates hay fever. It's a diuretic. But in ancient Greece, yarrow was used in poultices and ointments to treat wounds. And that's why it had to do with Achilles as a warrior, because they used it on the battlefield to help stop the bleeding and to help prevent infection. So that was a big thing. It can help your body recover from injury faster. It says, in a 2-week study, 140 women observed that an ointment made from the herb and St. John's wort helped heal episiotomy sites. It can help with ulcers and IBS. different things like that, other digestive issues, may help reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety because it has, it's plant-based alkaloids in there that help reduce the secretion of corticosterone. Corticosterone? Am I saying that right? It's a hormone that's high during chronic stress. And so that can help bring that down, and it helps to reduce that. Again, any essential oil of yarrow, do not ingest. Absolutely do not ingest. Am I missing anybody here? Yeah, Kiri, you know what? They'll come out as soon as it warms up. They like, whoo, come back to life. Seriously, you think they're dead all winter, and it's like, nope. Says it can actually possibly help with multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and another big word, encephalomyelitis. It's inflammation of the brain and spinal cord caused by a viral infection. So, all about viral infections here. Of course, helps reduce inflammation. It may help reduce skin and liver inflammation, which could help treat skin infections again. Precautions. While yarrow is likely safe for most individuals, some people should practice caution. Women who are pregnant or breastfeeding should not ingest it, as it can trigger miscarriages or affect their monthly cycles. Furthermore, people with bleeding disorders who take blood thinners should avoid yarrow because it may increase the risk of bleeding. On that same note, it should not be consumed for 2 weeks before and after surgery due to a higher risk of bleeding. Oh, bye, Patty. Thanks so much for coming. Dave, you even know how to spell it. Oh my goodness, you're good. Oh my goodness, do you know about that? Kiri, believe me, coming from Minnesota, it does not kill it. They just go into hibernation. It doesn't kill it. Yeah, allergic reaction to anybody who's allergic to ragweed, daisies, marigolds, chrysanthemums, any of that kind of stuff, if you're allergic to all that. So, let's see, how do you add it to your diet? It comes in several forms. Yes, swelling and inflammation around the brain and the spinal cord. Yep. Comes in several forms: powders, ointments, tinctures, extracts, dried leaves, and flowers, as I said before. For a tea, you take 1 to 2 teaspoons in boiling water for 5 to 10 minutes, and then strain it. You can purchase the dried herb as well as pre-made tea bags from various health stores. You can also add yarrow powder to smoothies, water, and juice. In the oils, you can use in baths, lotions, or diffusers or anything. So, again, consult a healthcare practitioner before using the herb. So, another thing it could do is, well, what it does is increases your stomach acid. So if you have a problem with high stomach acid already, you might not want to be using that internally anyway. Keep it as an external use. So it can decrease the effectiveness of medications that are trying to decrease your stomach acid. So you'll just cancel that out. It can cause sleepiness and drowsiness. So if you are already taking a sedative, this could add to that and be too much for you. Oh, Dave, that's interesting. Okay. Outside of something like a scrape, putting an ointment on, is there a good way to determine what form of some of these are best in? You know, I was in a hurry to get this, get the notice up, and I have this whole string of what do we call it? Let me see. Where's my list here of links? Here, I'll start putting some of these up here for you. But I'll go back and put them in the notes after I'm done here. And all of these have all the information that I'm telling you about. So, because I know it's a whole lot of information, you guys will want to go back and figure it out. And it gives you all of the, there you go. Those are the 4 websites that give the information on what they're good for and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, you have to be careful then. So, if it knocks you out, so you don't want to take it before you drive or something like that. And it also has an effect like a diuretic, or it is diuretic, so like a water pill or something. So if you're already taking a diuretic and you drink Yarrow tea, you could end up, leaching too much out of your system that you need in the way of potassium and lithium and magnesium and some of those kind of things. So, so you do want to be careful. Large amounts of Yarrow might slow blood clotting. So again, as we talked about with the bleeding and stuff. All right, for garden use and how good it is in the garden, it only makes sense that a plant with so many therapeutic medicinal uses would be restorative for the garden as well. It's an amazing plant to incorporate in gardens for a variety of reasons. It has extensive roots that draw nutrients from deep within the soil. So these rhizomes not only like spread out, they go way down too. It can bring potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and copper to the surface, improving the soil quality for other plants when used as a mulch material or added to the compost pile. So, it's going to be really, really good. So some gardeners also use Yarrow instead of comfrey to make a tea fertilizer to apply as a soil conditioner. Well, that's good, Eli. Then you don't have to worry about falling asleep at the wheel. Yes, deep diggers are good. Yep, dandelions do that. You just did a video on freeze-dried foods. Oh, would you mind if I put your link in? No, I would appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. That would be great. So it is also drought tolerant and can grow in poor, dry soils. It is also useful for combating erosion. It is sometimes even used as a drought-tolerant lawn replacement in xeriscaping, Xeri, scaping. The flowers also attract beneficial insects, such as predatory wasps, which eat common garden pests and pollinate other plants. So we're talking about growing it, harvesting it. The flavor is kind of sweet, mildly bitter flavor in it. Let me see, I thought there was something else. Okay, so growing it. Yeah, just full sun, well-drained soil. Like I said, it's drought tolerant, but it can tolerate a variety of soil conditions and different things. So that's great, Dave. That'd be awesome. It was just sweet. Curie, that's funny. That's great. That's funny. Yeah, good connection there, absolutely. So seeds can be found at Baker Creek, There's one. True Leaf Market. Some of these that I'm going to put up said they were out of stock, but that they were going to be getting them in. You could, get on the list or something. Not that many of them. I think one or two maybe. There's Eden Brothers, American Meadows. Oops, that one was too long. I have to do that. It was American Meadows. And then Swallowtail Gardens. And then I actually got mine at Fruition Seeds, but I didn't have that on my list. So that's another place that you can get it at. I don't know. And this one is USDA organic. So, it says sow 6 weeks before the last frost, barely covering with light soil. Bottom water to avoid displaced seed. Well, if I get spring rains, that's not going to help much. So I might just start these inside and then transplant them. Oh yeah, so transplant 6 weeks before frost. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's another one of my herbs that I'm going to be growing. And I'm going to give you guys a lot of links. Again, I'll put those all in the description below, the show notes in there. So you guys have them if you want to go to it. All right. In addition to the medicinal uses and garden applications, the drought tolerance, deer resistance, mosquito repellent. I know, right? Has so much there. There are other herbs that really help for skin healing and different things like that. But and comfrey's good for wounds and stuff too. But it's always good to have more than one. What is the saying within the community is 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So if you're relying completely on one herb for wound healing or something like that, it's like it'd be best to be growing 2 separate ones in case one of your crops fails or gets destroyed by pests or whatever, and always have something as a backup. So, yeah. So Eli, are you talking about dandelions there or the yarrow? Because you can use the yarrow leaves and blossoms in salads too if you want to. Just not like a bunch of them. And so, but yeah, so for any of the other kinds of herbs too that you need, this also helps. I don't know if I said that on here, but yeah, if you have a toothache and you chew on some fresh leaves, it will actually numb that area and help to help that out. So we had marshmallow root that was really good for toothaches and stuff, and now we have yarrow that's good for toothaches. So that is true, Megan. Absolutely. If somebody's allergic to one, and what I would do too is try to keep a notebook or a journal of some sort of the different herbs that you're growing and what they're all for. Teresa at Stringfield Ridge Farm did a video last week on that, and that's such a great idea because the more, if you're only growing 3 or 4 herbs, you can kind of keep track of what they do. But if you have, 20 or 30 herbs, it's like, okay, because in like a situation, it's like, what does this one do? I don't remember what these are good for, and everything. But to have a notebook that has, okay, yarrow does this and this and this, and it's for this, try to, you can use the salves on wounds, you can use the tea for this and that or whatever. And so it's really a good idea. The same with marshmallow root and lemon balm and peppermint and all of the other things that you might be growing. So yes, and if there's possible allergies, it says don't use if you're allergic to ragweed and marigolds and these kind of things. So so it's really, really good to know, because if somebody's already sick, you don't want to give them something that's going to be making them feel worse. So yeah, it was really, really great. And, it's just like a little journal notebook, and just having things written down in there. And I think that's going to be fabulous. And that's something I'm going to be starting to. So, so Eli, so if you've got a lot of dandelions in your yard, it means that your soil is pretty good then. That's good to know. All right. So before we lose anybody else here, I want to thank all my mods. You guys are great. Thank you for being here and helping out with links and any potential trolls or anything like that out there. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are great. So my garden tip. Oh, hey, Geared for Life. Hello. Thanks for coming in. Dave, you're planting medicinal plants that you've never even used too. Exactly. When you make tinctures out of them, I mean, that's alcohol based, and it's going to last for, ever. That type of thing. So it's like, those are some of the things that I'm trying to focus on more. I mean, making some salves and everything, but not keeping as much in just, dried flowers around or something like that, because those won't last nearly as long as a tincture or something like that. So, so Christina, yes, lurkers, exactly. Maybe individualized remedies are helpful because in a crunch, one's relief rather than waiting to make you exactly. So have those all made ahead of time, and those are good winter projects too. If you are growing and collecting, harvesting and drying during the summer, store them all in, a big half-gallon jar or something, or a gallon jar, and just store them away. And then during the winter, when you have time, then you can start doing all the tinctures and putting all those together. So my all right, Julie. Well, you've got some good places to put that too. You really do. Okay, garden tip. For here, it's almost looking like an early spring. There are going to be some things I can put out, in the garden earlier than I would normally do. The cold hardy things, lettuces, peas, different things like that. I could get out there, but still, I'm not going to put like tomatoes and peppers out until the end of May. So if you get an early spring, start getting outside and get structural things done for your garden, like building beds, digging up areas, moving rock, all this other kind of stuff that you kind of have on your list, whether it's a mental list or you've written it down or something. But if it's an early spring and you really shouldn't be planting yet, get out there and do these other things so that they get done and they're finished. Hey, Sean in Alaska, hi. You were warmer than I was today. So, but you've got a lot more snow. When is my last frost? I would say it's usually right around May 15th to May 20th, somewhere in there. Typically, I mean, that's kind of an average. So really, I don't plant till Memorial Day or June 1st. That's really the best place. So you started tapping your maples. Oh, nice. Oh, y'all for an early spring. So yeah, but get all those things done. Just don't plant. Don't get all excited that, oh, it's in the 40s and 50s. I could put seed in the ground and everything, because winter can still come back in April, even early May. So, but peas can withstand some snow and cold. Lettuces will be fine, kale, all those kind of things. I do love that. But if it's nice, at least up here, if the snow is all gone, the ground is starting to dry out and everything, start getting some things accomplished, and it gets you outside too. But anyway, just don't plant your sensitive veggies. You had frost around Mother's Day last year? Yeah, it can easily be that. Absolutely. We've had years where we've had early spring and it's just stayed warm. But we've also had years where it's early spring and then it gets cold again right in May. So, yes, Megan, I've got my wood stacked in the living room and my kitchen right now, and I'm just waiting to get them out of the house, get my beds done. So yes, if it stays warm, everything melts and everything, I can at least get out and start putting the beds together. I won't be able to finish all the things that I need to do with it before backfilling it again. But at least I can get a good bit going, and that'll really help. 7 tonight, yeah, for the bees to start flying. Oh, yeah, all your wonderful bees there. So then a prep tip that I have for tonight is try to, over the next couple months, have a more concentrated effort of using your older home canned foods. Look at things. It's like, do you have some stuff from 2018 or 2017 or something? Find those and use them so that you can start. It's like, not only is it good for expiration purposes, but all of a sudden you're going to have access to more jars. You're going to like, oh, I've got cases of empty jars now. And if you do that, try and like every day, make a meal from the jars that you have. That will add up very, very quickly, and you'll realize, wow, okay, so figure you use maybe 2 jars a day, depending on your family and all that kind of stuff. But in a month, all of a sudden you can have 60 jars. That's 5 cases in 1 month that you can free up, especially when it's so hard to find cases. It's so hard to find jars. Anyway. You're finding wasps and stink bugs in your house? Okay. Yes, the flies and the Asian beetles are coming to life here. So yeah, eat the old stuff. If you have like store-bought canned goods and stuff like that, check the expirations on them. Make sure that you rotate them out, replace those. But, a lot of times when we home can our stuff, and it's like, you've got all these beautiful jars of food, and you're like, okay, and you feel that security there, kind of. But it's like, at some point they're going to start deteriorating in what they can do. And so, you need to get in there and pull them out, use them, have the jars so you can pack new stuff in there and fresh stuff. And otherwise, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself without jars, and you're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do when you still have 3-year-old stuff sitting on your shelf, So, yeah. So think about using those. And then the same for any food from your freezer. If it's, dig way to the bottom of your freezer, if there's old stuff down there, either cook it up and use it or can it. But start enjoying yourself in the next couple months here. Get that food used. I know I have a tendency to, after harvest and canning is done in the fall, it's like, so tired, it's like, I don't want to look at a jar. I don't want to look at a jar of tomatoes. I don't want to look at it, anything. And so I kind of like, especially when they're down in the basement, out of sight, out of mind. And it's like, so anyway, just have to get back in the gear for that. Hey, JB, hello. Thanks for coming in. So anyway, that's kind of what I have here for tonight. Does anybody have anything else they want to add in or talk about? There's my yarrow seeds here. What do I do? It just disappeared. Anyway, these books, really, really good. Really good books. I don't know where you went. Oh, that's funny. Okay. The yarrow disappeared. Disappeared. So anyway, I got it Fruition Seeds. And I have got other new ones that I'm going to grow this year. I have bee balm. And what else do I have? I have different basils. Marshmallow, like I told you last week. Mullein, again, hyssop, evening primrose. So freezer burn. There you go. That's a good bit. Eli, stick it in the crock pot. Feverfew. So we'll be talking about a few of these others coming up because I have the seeds and I'm going to be planting them. I have to figure out where they're going to go. And, if they're perennials or not. And if the rabbits are going to be eating them or not. So, frozen berries work awesome for jelly? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if you've, let's say you grew strawberries or picked raspberries or whatever, and you just have them in the bag, in, Ziploc bag in the freezer, pull them out, make jellies. Like you said, you can even make pie fillings with them. I have some rhubarb and strawberries in mine right now that I want to do that with. So, just can up some stuff and have them all done. So, mullein is growing all over your yard. Oh, yes, I know. Was it freeze-dried or dehydrated? Oh, Curie, yes. Oh, yeah, because you never know when that's going to happen and go down. So, that's true, Dave. What about taking them out and dehydrating them? You could maybe do that and have them there, and then you could throw those into smoothies, but they're dehydrated. That might be an option. Might be able to think about something like that. Yeah, because it is really expensive. I did manage to find a case of regular mouth pint jars this last week, and they were $8.50, I think. But there were only 3 cases in the store, and there were no quarts, there were no half pints or anything. So it's just really random where you can find them. More jelly jars, yeah. Blueberry crisp will be on the menu. Oh, there you go, Debbie. So we can enjoy some stuff here. Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming and spending this time with me. I really, really appreciate it. And, oh, there you go. That's a good idea. Yeah, auctions, estate sales for cases of jars. Absolutely. But there again, yep, if you don't have the lids. The last week I showed you guys the Tatler lids. I would highly recommend you trying to get some of those for a lot of these things. But anyway, you guys have a great week. It was so wonderful to have you all here. I really appreciate it. And enjoy the sunshine where you are. I hope everybody gets sunshine this week to dry up some stuff. And you guys just take care and God bless. And always have hope. And we will see you next week. All right, good night.